Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Welcome to our series on Arabic Made Simple, which is a product of Quran University associated with Quran Learning Management System. Level 1 of this series is on learning Arabic letters. Our fourth chapter of this level is on Arabic vowels and basic harakat. In this chapter, we'll be introduced to the Arabic vowels, huruf al-illa, and their articulation points. Then we're going to realize that these letters that constitute huruf al-illa, the Arabic vowels, the alif, the waw, and ya, where each of those three letters has a non-extensible status and an extendable status which is called the vowel or harf al-illa. Then we're going to understand the concept of haraka versus sukun, and then we're going to realize the relationship between the vowels, each of these three vowels, and the different harakat, the relationship between the a vowel and the fatha, the u vowel and the dhamma, the e vowel and the kasra. There are only three vowels in Arabic, and these vowels are related to three letters of the Arabic alphabet, which is the first letter of the alphabet, the alif, and the last two, the waw and the ya. Now, let's look at the first letter. Alif has two forms, the a and the hamza. The alif is extendable, as in fast, fast. But the hamza is non-extendable. It's like the a as in abuk, abuk, In the first a, in the alif, it's extendable, fast. In the second a, in hamza, it's not extendable, abuk, abuk, Now let's move to the next letter, the waw. Waw again has two forms, the extendable and the non-extendable form. The extendable one, extendable waw, is like the oo in English, as in room, oo, room, oo. While the non-extendable waw is like the non-extendable w, as in walk, walk. Ooh, wah, ooh, wah. Similarly, the ya has two forms, extendable ya and non-extendable ya. The extendable ya is like e in feel. Extendable ya like e in feel, eel, extendable. Now the non-extendable is like year, yes, you. It's a short ya, ya, e, ya, e. So each of those three letters, the alif, the waw, and ya, has an extendable format and an unextendable one. Extendable format, non-extendable one, extendable format, non-extendable one. The hamza is non-extendable, abuk. Here, the walk is an unextendable waw. And for the ya, the non-extendable format is like yes or year. These three forms are non-extendable, leaving us with those as extendable. A, oo, e. Now let's take the two formats of each letter and study them more carefully. We're going now to compare the alif, al-alif al-maddiyah, versus the hamza, hamza. The alif, as we said, has the hamza and the elements, the two formats. Hamza looks like a small ayn, hamza, and it's equivalent to the English articulating from the deep throat. Is a throat letter, similar to the English pronunciation of a, as in abuk, abuk. In Arabic, an example is يأمن. Feeling safe. يأمن. Is the Hamza part. We're going now to look at the Alif vowel. It's looking like a stick. It articulates from the jawf, from the empty space of the larynx, and it is released with nothing obstructing it as it comes out from the larynx. Similar to the pronunciation of the English A in fast. Fast. And it's like the A in Malik. Malik Yawm al-Din al-Fatiha. Malik. Here, man, Hamza. In here, in Malik. We call it Alif. Now we're going to discuss the two forms of the waw vowel, and compare it to the non-extendable waw غير المادية. So the waw has two forms. Both of them represents either the oo or the w of the English language. The first form is oo. The second form is wa. So this is a vowel, oo, extended. This is a short waw, and that's why we call it non-extendable waw. Let's look at this more deeply. Start with the vowel. It's equivalent to the English oo and pronounced as in room. Oo, in room. Oo. And this is basically the vowel. This articulates from the larynx, goes out with no obstruction. From here, oo. And that's why we call it a jawf, which means below the larynx letter. Ooh. As in the Arabic word yaqul, which means to say. Yaqul. The waw here is ooh, yaqul, as in room. Ooh. So this is basically the vowel, the extendable waw. The vowel meaning extendable waw. In Arabic called harful illah, أو الواو المادية, أو حرف المد. Now on the other hand, the non-extendable waw is like the English W, as in walk, wa, not oo, very short wow, walk, oo. And that actually articulates at the lips. This oo sound happens when we bring the two lips together. We purse the lips. That's why we classify it as a bilabial letter. Oo, two lips brought together. Bilabial letter, as in yawm, which means a day in Arabic. Yawm is like walk. Both of them has short waws, non-extendable waw, and that's why the waw in walk or yawm is called non-extendable waw, waw غير المادية. Now we're going to discuss the two forms of the ya. Ya has two forms. One is like the English E and the other is like the Y. These two forms are the vowel ya and the non-extendable ya. E and E. The long extendable one is the vowel, this one, which is similar to the English E, as in feel, E, double E, feel. This articulates from the larynx, from the jawf, and goes out with no resistance. E. E here is a below larynx, what we call in Arabic jawf letter. And it's a vowel. This is like the E of the Abbalin in Surah Al-Fatiha, similar to the English E in feel. E. E is a vowel. So the extensible ya is actually a vowel because we can extend it. E. On the other hand, the non-extendable ya, like the English Y, as in year, is non-extendable. It articulates between the palate in the wide area of the mouth and the tongue. That's why it is classified as a lingual letter, tongue, lingual letter. and it's like yu'min. You in yu'min is like the English Y in year, a very short E, not extended. That's why we call it non-extendable. Yu'min, ye, yu'min, year. This is a non-extendable ya. The non-extendable ya is called in Arabic ya ghayrul maddiyah. Now we're going to compare the three Arabic vowels from the perspective of their articulation point. All vowels arise from below the larynx, arise from here. And this is the larynx, this is the vocal cords. All vowels, the three, a, u, e, arise from below the vocal cords. That's why we call it jawf letter. This is the larynx, and they are all called jawf letters. Now let's start with the a. Alif, or a, is the key and primary vowel. Why do we call it the key or primary? We will see in a minute. Let's pronounce the a. A is generated as the exhaled air leaving the lungs. A passes through the larynx, causing minor vibration of the vocal cords. A touch the vocal cords as the air is leaving, causing the small vibration, leading to us hearing the a sound. But as the a passes through the airway, it faces no other obstruction other than that resistance caused by the vocal cords. So it travels through the airway, exiting the open mouth without any significant resistance. That's why the a sound is clear. So we have learned how the a sound is articulated. Now let's look at the oo sound. If we take the a and purse our lips while pronouncing the a, it will produce the oo, the wow. So purse your lips and pronounce a. Ow, ow. That produces the wow vowel. Similarly, the e is a modified a. If we take the a and elevate our lower jaws while pronouncing the a, it will be modified into a ya. Let's try. Elevating the lower jaws up while pronouncing the a. E is produced by elevating the lower jaw while pronouncing the a. So the a is clear. A. Take an a and purse your lips, it will produce an oo. Take an a and elevate your lower jaw, it will produce an e. A, oo, e. All of them are jawf letters arising from below the vocal cords. We're going to sum up the comparison between the a, oo, and e by looking at their MRI scans. The alif generated at the vibration of the vocal cords at the larynx and the parting of the two jaws and opening of the lips. Opening of the mouth, okay, opening of the lips, parting of the two jaws. Now the wow, on the other hand, also is generated by vibration at the larynx and slight parting of the jaws, but the main thing is pursing of the lips. Now the ya, same thing, vibration at the vocal cords at the larynx, slight parting of the jaws, but the most important reason for producing the ya is elevation of the lower jaw. E. You see, the lower jaw is a bit raised and the lips are not as pursed as in the wow and are not as open as in the a. So with a, the lips and the mouth are open. With oo, the lips are pursed, while in e, the lower jaw is elevated. In conclusion, there are three vowels in the Arabic language related to the alif, waw, and ya. A, oo, e. Now let's learn what the haraka means. Haraka means vowelization, which is appending a letter with a vowel. Let's start by defining some Arabic words meanings. Haraka means movement or motion, while sukoon means rest. So the word sukoon is a noun that means rest, stillness, or statics, while the word haraka is a noun that means motion or flow or kinetics. Let's look at this letter ba. It is static. It's not able to move from its place. So we call that this ba is sakin, has sukoon. Sakin is an adjective that describes an object that is still, stagnant, or static. On the other hand, if we take this ba and we see that it's moving, then we call it mutaharrik. Mutaharrik is an adjective that describes an object that is moving, flowing, or kinetic. Now let's look at the sukoon, the rest, a bit more. This ba, is trapped at its articulation point, and it is standing still, resting at that point of articulation, the lips, and not moving out of it. So the letter ba would be imprisoned at the articulation point and would remain resting there. That's why we call it sakin and give it the sifa, the adjective of sukoon. On the contrary of sukoon, there is the haraka, the movement. If we took that second letter imprisoned at the lips at the articulation point and add to it a vowel, an a, after the ba, so it becomes ba. Ba would be mobile. It will have motion. It would be released to the outside of the mouth and be awarded the freedom to move by adding the alif vowel just after it. So it is said to be awarded the haraka, which is movement or ability to move. And since we have three vowels, then there are the possibilities of three harakas, three movements. First one, if haraka, kinetics of a letter, is associated with an exhaled air flowing towards the articulation of the vowel a, then we call that haraka ba. We call it fatha. If the haraka, kinetics of a letter, is associated with an exhaled air flowing towards the articulation of the vowel oo, then we call that haraka dhamma. If the haraka, kinetics of letter, is associated with an exhaled air flowing towards the articulation of a vowel e, b, we call that haraka kasra. Now, the fatha, we take that a to symbolize fatha. We take the a and put it on top of the ba, and it will look like this. A will be put there and a bit tilted, and that tells us that this ba has a fatha, ba. On the other hand, if we take the ba and put a waw on it, it will tell us that this ba has a dhamma. And if we take the same letter and we put a ya, but underneath it, and a bit modify that to a tilted dash, we call it kasra. So we can represent the fatha by an alif, which is oblique, and the dhamma with a waw on top of the letter, and the kasra with a dash below the letter. Let's learn more about the way we pronounce the fatha, the dhamma, and the kasra. Let's start with pronouncing the fatha. The fatha, let's take an example, the letter ta, and we'll put after that an alif, a, ta. They are pronounced ta. Now, if we shorten the alif, rather than having it with that wavelength, we make it shorter, then it's the same thing as the ta, but the fatha would sound like the ta. So it is the same ta, but with a shorter alif, and that's what gives us the fatha. Same thing applies for the dhamma. So to pronounce the dhamma, we take a ta plus a oo, wow, and it will sound like tu. Now, if we shorten the oo part, the wow, it will sound like a dhamma, tu. So tu is a ta with dhamma compared to tu, which is a ta with a waw. Tu. Now let's pronounce the kasra. Kasra is similarly a ta plus A, ya. Ta, I, ti. Now, if we shorten the ya, it will sound like the kasra, ti. So the ti is ti with a shortened ya. Let's quickly revise. Ta, ta. Tu, tu. Ti, ti. In this table, we'll conclude what we have just learned over the last few minutes. We've learned that there is a term called haraka, which literally means motion, flow, kinetics, versus another term called sukun, which literally means rest, stillness, statics. And in the Arabic linguistic terminology, haraka means vowelization, that is, appending the letter with a short vowel. Sukun, on the other hand, means non-vowelization. The haraka has three subtypes, fatha, dhamma, and kasra. Now, the vowel added with the fatha is the a, the vowel added with the dhamma is the u, and the vowel added with the kasra is the e. The writing expression tashkil of fatha, it's presented as a small dash above the letter, a small a that is tilted, while the dhamma is represented as a small waw above the letter, and the kasra represented as a small dash below the letter. The sukun is represented as a zero, small circle above the letter. An example of the fatha is the letter ba with, as we said, the vowel a to be ba with fatha. Ba with the letter u presents the ba with dhamma. Ba with the vowel e is actually the ba with kasra, while the ba with a circle is represented as the ba with sukun. In the previous slide, we've learned that adding a haraka can be named vowelization, which means adding a small vowel at the end of the letter. Now, any Arabic letter would have four possibilities. They can have the vowel at the end. They can be vowelized, giving a characteristic of a vowel movement, haraka, to become fatha or dhamma or kasra, or to be devowelized, which means that they could be deprived from such mobility, and that is what we call the character of sukun. Ba with sukun, a letter with sukun. Now, this is the case for all these letters except for the vowels. They only have one status, which is sukun. So a can only be sakin. Waw vowel, the u can only be sakin. Ya vowel, e can only be sakin. While the hamza can be having all the four possibilities, fatha, dhamma, kasra, sukun. Similarly, the waw غير المادية, non-extendable waw, can have all the four, fatha, dhamma, kasra, sukun. And the ya غير المادية, the non-extendable ya, could have the four, fatha, dhamma, kasra, and sukun. This brings us to the end of the fourth chapter of level 1. In this chapter, we learned what are the three Arabic vowels, حروف العلة, a, u, e, and we learned about their articulation points, مخارجها. We realized that each of these three letters that constitute the vowels, and learned that each of these three letters has two forms or status. The first form is extendable, and that constitutes what we call the vowels or حروف المد. And we differentiated those from the non-extendable forms or status of these letters. A, U, E are extendable, حروف مد, while al-hamza and the non-extendable waw and the non-extendable ya are the non-extendable versions of these letters. We learned about the concept of haraka, understood what makes the haraka, and we differentiated the haraka versus the sukun. We have also realized the relationship between vowels and the different harakat. What's the relationship between the a and the fatha, the u and the dhamma, and the e and the kasra? This was a lesson among the Quran University series of lessons. It's a part of a series of lessons called Arabic Made Easy. The target audience of these lessons are non-Arabic speakers, the primary objective of which is to help non-native Arabic speakers to understand the Quran, inshallah. In these lessons, we're going to start with you from zero, where you understand nothing about the Arabic alphabet, taking you gradually to understand enough Arabic to help you understand Quran in its native Arabic language, the language that it has been revealed with. نأمل من الله سبحانه وتعالى أن يوفقنا وإياكم لما فيه الخير والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.